Well, I gotta know, what does this button do?
Steve, I'm not really sure. Maybe just click it.
Well, you do know me well enough that if there's a button, I want to push the button. And welcome to What Does This Button Do? The series in Quivr where we teach you and do a deep dive on what a very specific component within the system does and how you can utilize it to maximize the value that you're getting from Quivr. The first thing I want to talk about is the homepage. Well, the homepage, I don't know about you, but when I practiced at a bigger firm, I had no idea what I needed to do during the day when I got to work. And I tell this story during demos. I had 6 or 7 CSAs that I worked with, and if I wanted to know what was going on in the firm and what I needed to do, I had to go talk to all of them. Now, I liked these people for the most part, but it would take a half hour or an hour or all morning, and I hated it because I had stuff I needed to do.
Yeah. And when I was practicing, I was a solo, right? I mean, it was literally just me. And one of my big fears was, what if I forget to do something important today? Like, what if I miss something? And I think this is one of the core tenets of Quiver, which is, can we help advisors make the shift from being a reactive style advisor to a proactive style advisor? And the easiest way that I know to do that is to show up in the morning, grab your coffee, sit at your desk, and have Quiver tell you what you're supposed to do that day. Like, I don't want to have to go figure out what I'm supposed to do. Just have it tell me what to do. And I think from where I sit, that's really what the homepage is trying to do. But if you're not used to it, it can feel a little overwhelming or a little daunting. And I think that's like, if you're willing to kind of go through it a little bit today, I think that could be something really good for our users to understand. Like, wow, I logged into Quiver for the first time and there was nothing on this page. And then 2 weeks later, it was really full. And I don't know what to look at first. Like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
What's the order of operations?
Yeah, there's a lot of
So
data on the homepage, and the homepage was designed by me. So if you like it, great, I'll take the compliment. If you do not like it at all, I've got thick skin. Tell me how we can make it better. But it was really designed by me because of the roles that I've served in, and I have been pretty much every role. I've been CSA, I've been a paraplanner, I've been an advisor too, I've been a lead advisor, I've been a business development advisor, I've been a firm owner. I've sat in every seat. And now, selfishly, the homepage is designed to make my life easier, but it's also designed to make the rest of the team's life easier. No, I'll share my screen. If you're listening to this right now, YouTube might be a good option to check this out on, or on our website. But we're going to go through the homepage and we're going to show you exactly what you need to do, and how we recommend you, quote unquote, train your eyes so that you can utilize the homepage and make your life easier.
yeah, that's exactly it. So, I think that the habit that we want you to build, where this is coming from is, I log into Quiver and what do I do first? And I think that hitting that homepage, starting on the homepage is really where we want you to start.
Yeah.
Steve, you and I are a little bit different. Where do you start? I mean, like, when you first load up Quiver each morning, you're trying to be really efficient and get through your firm's business. What are you checking first? What catches your eye?
Yeah. So the first thing I'm doing, and to set the stage for it, is the homepage is just as a reminder. If you're a team, if you have a team, so you're not a solo advisor, you're going to use our team homepage, which has 3 columns. My items, which is everything I need to do, and that is related to whomever is logging in. So I think most listeners know my mom is my admin. My mom, when she logs in, she cares about my items. That's what she needs to do. When I'm logged in, my items is me. And then team items is the exact opposite. What needs to be done by my teammates for my clients or our clients, where I want to be aware of it, but I don't need to be the one to take action. So I know right here, for example, that this client birthday upcoming means that my mom would be sending Jim or Pam a birthday card. I just want to be aware of that. And then lastly, we have firm items, which we'll get to in a second. But when I log in, my eyes do the exact same thing every single time. I log in, right? I go to salesforce.com. I log in, I do my 2-factor authentication, and this is the first screen I'm brought to. First thing I'm going to do is go to my items, and I am going to scan this box. And I'll be very honest with you. If I had 37 things that I needed to do, I would go upstairs, get another cup of coffee, because I know I'm about to grind. My hope is I have like 3 to 10, if that. But it's very simple. These are sorted by due date, things I need to do now. And I'm going to take my mouse, and I literally like it when these things go gray like that. And I need to know exactly what every single one of these things are. And I need to know, is this something I need to do today, or is this something I need to do in the future? So it's not uncommon for me. For example, if I have a client who's going through the estate planning process, it's not uncommon for me to leave an overdue task for that estate plan at the top, so I never forget about it. I'm not going to post date it. I'm not going to move it off because I just want to constantly be reminded of that. So I actually have 3 or 4 tasks right now, Will, that have a due date of like 6 months ago sitting in my tasks items because they are simply that important that I want to see them every day. But after I get those 3 or 4 things, I'm then going to scan. It's like, okay, I need to do this. Okay, I need to do this. Ooh, I don't know what this is. I'm going to click into this task and it's going to tell me what I need to do. But these are the things that matter. And my mom knows. She knows if she gives me a task, I'm going to look at this first thing every single morning and I'm going to take care of it. So, any questions about that? I'm just scanning. What do I need to do? What is going on? What do I need to have high level? Does that make sense, Will?
It does. And in the spirit of like the name of this particular podcast, there's something I've really never understood. I don't understand. There's a button up at the top and it says reload. Why would I click that button? What's the situation where I'm going to need to know to click that button, and what is that button doing?
Yeah. So, for example, let's say I hop into the helpers, right, or at this task. Well, let's say I need to create a new task or I need to do something, or in here, you can actually create a follow up task that just creates a task off of this. So, I'm creating additional data, I'm creating more tasks for the system. Or let's say I'm coming in here and I'm changing this assignment from me to my admin, and I'm writing down here, I need your help with XYZ, right? Whatever you need, and I hit save. Now, I might be a little weird in this, and I really like back buttons. So here, I'll change the subject of this. So changed, right? This is the task that I just changed. I like back buttons. If I go back, this is actually that task still. I do need to hit reload. That task has been changed. Maybe I didn't change I am admin user. Now I'm a dummy. But point is, right, that's going to make sure that this data is updating because it doesn't update in real time, unfortunately. It updates every time you come to the page.
I get it. So like if I'm the advisor and I assign and my CSA is working through the team tasks and I've been in a meeting or I go to lunch and I leave Quivr open, as we know, every good Quivr user leaves Quivr open all day, right? I mean, that's how it works.
Absolutely. Yep.
So I go to lunch and I come back and it's still over sitting in team tasks. They may have done it. I may not know about it because I didn't hit reload.
Yeah, you're either going to want to hit reload or you're just going to want to refresh the page. Yep, that is what that button does. So these buttons take you to whatever's working on. Typically, this is a household or a contact. The ones over on the right, this takes you to that actual task. So the whole point is when I log in, I'm going to click in here. I'm going to open this task up. Sometimes I open it up in a new tab. Sometimes I open it up in the existing tab. I like to kind of live life on the edge, but I'm working through all of these. And I'm not going to leave this box until I am satisfied as to where it is. So any invest money needs to get invested. Anything that has to get done today, my eyes are not leaving this box. My attention is not leaving this box until I can look at it and confidently and quite honestly, happily understand that nothing else from that box is probably going to get done today unless there's something new.
Got it. Love it.
So once I know I'm good, now I look at this middle box. I want to know. I feel like I'm not a micromanager. I've actually been told I'm almost the exact opposite of that, almost too far. But you've got some. We always joke with Ashley, who's amazing. That Ashley, you can send me anything. If you tell me to sign it, I'm just going to sign it, right? So hopefully she doesn't do anything to screw us. But the middle box, I do need to know, what is my mom doing? What is being worked on? Is there a transfer in process? Is there something going on? I want to know, what is her workload too. If she has nothing here, then I know, and I'm totally fine with this. She's probably not sitting at her desk all day. And if I need to get a hold of her, I have to call her, right? Because if she doesn't have a lot to work on, that's fine. And I don't want her sitting at her desk if she has nothing to do. But let's say, I'm not taking on new clients, but let's say we were taking on new clients. This is where I would know what accounts have been opened, what she's working through, what transfers we're waiting on. So while this left box is stuff that I need to do now, this middle stuff is giving me that information. Let's say the Halperts are a new client and they call me. I can see right here, where are we with things? Or Pam called me today and she asks me, where are we at with funding the traditional IRA? Well, that's not something I'm doing. That's something my mom is doing, but I'm still going to hit my homepage and I'm going to open up this task. I'm going to push this button and it's going to tell me exactly where we are. And my mom knows, put notes in here, because if she doesn't put comments in here, I'm going to call her. And then if she's outside riding her bike because she doesn't have any work today, she's going to be bored. Like, she's going to get annoyed. So she knows if she populates the comments in there and gives me the information that I'm going to need, I'm not going to bother her, right? So this box, and again, it doesn't matter if it's just my mom or if I had a team of 6 CSAs that I worked with, like at my old firm, they are all going to show up right there. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
So at this point, then my day-to-day is done. Like, this is the grains of sand of things that I need to do. I am not going to go to the third column yet. I'm not going there. The next thing I'm going to do, and my hope, to be very frank, is I am done with both of those things in less than 10 to 15 minutes on the normal day. Usually I am done with both of those in just a couple of minutes. Then I scroll down, and the next thing I care about are these 4 boxes right here. As you know, Will, I'm a huge proponent of the meeting module. Huge. I think that I'm pretty clear about that as we talk with people. But these 4 boxes right here, and I love how you said it, it's kind of, in my firm, right? Kind of a counterclockwise explanation of where we are with all of our meetings. So the meeting module, right? That's where we get to store meetings, prepare for meetings, hold meetings, all of these things. We'll have content. We have a ton of content on the meeting module. How am I using the homepage for it? Well, I'm looking at meeting prep first. So differently, right? So I'm actually looking at my items, my tasks first, and then her tasks, but I'm looking at her meetings first. Now, why am I doing that?
Yeah, Steve, to be clear, like, why do you start with her meetings and not your meetings?
Because she does prep first. And I know however many meetings she has, eventually they're going to pop over here and it's going to be my turn. So this is me simply looking, what does my workload look like? Now meetings hit this box if they're upcoming in the next 10 days. So I don't know who I'm meeting with in 10 days from today. I have no idea. Couldn't tell you who I'm meeting with. But I do know if I'm meeting with somebody in 10 days, it's going to show up here. And when she is done with her prep, it's going to pop over here. So let's just say right now, I see this Halpert meeting, and I know the meetings are wrong, but let's just say it's in 8 days from now. I'm going to know that some point in the next 6 days, I'm going to have to do meeting prep. That's it. And now I get to decide, of course, we have internal processes or internal guidelines as to how quickly she needs to get her prep done, right? She's not finishing her prep 7 minutes before the meeting, but I now know, okay, if I'm meeting with these people in 8 days, at some point in the next week, I'm going to have work I need to do. Eventually, she'll finish that. And then my eyes are moving from this box to this box because I now know once we get here, this is time for me to act. So if I were to see a meeting here and I knew, let's just assume March 21st was in a week from now, I got to do something. This is time for me to have my meeting prep get done. So I'm going to now open this meeting up. I'm going to push this button. I'm going to click on the meeting and I'm going to start doing my prep. Whatever my prep is, I am going to get it done.
Steve, I think what's interesting about this is that we get to sort of, we get to sit on top of kind of Quivr and get information about how different firms are using it. It seems really like, I'm not going to say it's a best practice, but it's in that realm where we see most meeting prep going from kind of like that associate, the CSA, like somebody advisor touches it last typically. But one of the things that that you mentioned is like, maybe today's a slow day, right? I had only 3 tasks that showed up in my tasks to do today, and I see that there's some meeting prep and it's still in the associates box. That doesn't mean that I couldn't go and do some of the things that I could do. Like, seeing it's there, you're eventually going to have to get to it. You can jump into that meeting today and knock off a couple of those things that aren't reliant on the CSA touching it first or your team touching it first.
Absolutely.
Just because it's in that box doesn't mean you can't touch it. It just means that it's not like all of the stuff that was before hasn't been done yet.
Exactly.
Like all of the stuff that leads up. So like, that's what I find kind of interesting about this, is that it gives you that flexibility where it's like, yeah, I've got an extra hour today. I'm going to knock some of these other things out to make tomorrow a little bit easier. I'm not going to wait for that meeting to flow over. I'm going to pick it up now.
For sure. Yep. No, exactly. It's coming down the pipeline, and follow-ups almost the same. If I have meeting follow-ups that I need to get done, this is not only I try to do my meeting follow-up right away, but I'm human. It doesn't happen every time, right? So this is my reminder that I need to get it done. And when I finish my follow-up, it's going to hop to this box. And what I care about this box the most for team meeting follow-up is the last step, or one of the last steps of our meeting process is my mom will send out the meeting notes, get tasks into the system, that kind of stuff. And if I know the meeting is there, I know either she's working on it, hasn't gotten to it yet, or maybe if it's surge, right? We have 7 or 8 meetings in a day. I get to know, is she caught up? I also get to know, are my actions here, right? Oh, I don't see that. Like today, I had to, do a 401k rebalance for a client, or give them a recommendation, and I didn't see the task. And I'm like, oh, well, duh, I wrote the meeting notes like 10 minutes ago. Of course, I don't have a task yet. My mom hasn't read the notes yet and got the task into the system. So it also just helps me understand where things are at and where we're going. During surge, though, this team meeting follow-up box is a huge, huge sign of whether she's keeping up or not. Does she need help? Am I doing things that are blocking her? If I have 7 meetings in a day and she has 6 meetings sitting in that box, I'm going to call her. What's going on? Like, can I help you? How are you stuck? What are we missing? But if I get done with 7 meetings and I have 2 there, there's 2 there, then okay, she's doing great. Like, she'll be caught up by the time I get out of my first meeting tomorrow. We're good. We don't have to talk.
Yeah, that high level overview of just kind of like understanding, is something bogging down this process? Is there something that like this person needs help with, or did they get distracted because there was a bunch of other tasks that came through? Like, it does give you kind of that just high level glance. What's going on? Is this machine working correctly, or is something broken?
Yeah. I mean, another good thing too is, let's say you're one of the people that onboard during search and you want to give that new client a general idea of when they'll get something to you. Or during my search, I need to open up a new account for a client. I could come to the homepage and within reason, I can look at this and I can look up at her tasks and I will have a general idea of how quickly we can get something done. So I can tell the client, look, we're a little, we're really busy right now. Is there any issue if we don't get this to you for 4 days? And 99.9% of the time, the client say, yeah, no, whatever, that's fine as long as we don't miss out on any important deadlines. So not only am I seeing what's coming down the pipeline, but I also can set expectations with clients because I can interpret this data to knowing how busy she is, right? If this is all she has, we can get that thing out today or tomorrow. It's going to happen. If she's got 37, like we do over here, it might be a week, and that's okay. And then the bottom is something that I actually don't look at all the time. The bottom is what's been completed. I think my mom looks at these boxes more than me because she is relying on me to do some of her work more than I am relying on her. She needs me to do trades so she can send money. She needs me to sign something so she can get the account like stuff like that. Where usually I'm first and then she finishes things. But one thing that is, I'll wake up about it in the middle of the night to this day. Client needs money. Did they get it? And if I log in the morning and I'm thinking about, did Jim get that $5,000? Did Dwight get that 10 grand? I mean, that's the thing the clients notice the most. You mess up ACHs, you're going to hear about it.
Yeah.
And if I don't see that here, I scroll down and it better be here. It better be here. Because this is my way of knowing it has been taken care of. I don't need to call her. I don't need to go look through emails. It's done. And my anxiety goes straight down and I move on and we're good.
And I think it's also a good thing to remember that, like, with the way that Quivr's laid out, there's a lot of different doors and windows into the same room. And so in that scenario where you might be like, I'm really focused on this one client, you can always just jump to that client too, and then look at like, okay, here's that task. Here's the notes. Here's when it got completed. Like, you can get all of that data too. You don't necessarily have to scroll all the way down, because I agree. Like, if I were practicing, I probably wouldn't use completed tasks and workflows as much. I'd be going directly to that specific client of like, I'm expecting to see this task. Where is it and what's going on with it? I'd probably use the search bar at the top of the
That's
page.
totally fine. Yep. If I'm looking for a lot of stuff, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I won't. But I'm done. That is the extent of what I'm looking at. And you might be thinking, well, what about the third column, firm items? That's not my job. That's not my responsibility, to be very honest with you. Firm items, projects are things that I'm really only going to when I get new information. So for example, a big project that I've been working on lately is I have a C-suite exec client who makes a ton of money, and the more money you make, the longer it typically takes to find a new job. So he's been in the job search for 6 to 7, maybe even 8 months. And there are offers, there's documentation. So I'm using projects to sort all of, or keep all of that information straight. I use it a lot for estate planning as well, because once you make the recommendation and the introduction to the attorney, right, it's hard for, once you're not in control, it's a little hard. But I'm not going to go into projects randomly until, let's say, that client calls me or I have a task directing me there. So I'm actually not going here very much. My eyes are not. I'm not looking there. And I know that we have users that use projects differently than me, and that's totally fine. I can think of a few right now that have like hundreds of projects open. Again, that's great. They're going to look at that more than me, and their eyes are going to go their items, team items, projects. I guarantee you we have users where projects are the third thing they look at. Whereas me, I'm not even touching it. Because again, how are you using it?
Yep, that makes total sense.
And then the last thing I'm not looking at is integrations. So integrations, this dummy environment doesn't have data on it, which is fine from an integration standpoint. But what we care about here is that things will turn red when you have to take action. So you get a new client and you get accounts into Black Diamond in this example, and you upload a holistic plan tax report. These things are going to turn red when it's time for you to approve and authorize, right? Yes, the Halperts are the Halperts. Yep, it's mapped correctly. Hit a button. That's not my responsibility. But interesting. So I'm not looking for that on the homepage. but my mom is. Again, how are our eyes working? I know her eyes are going team items, my items, because she's not, or she's looking at my items, looking at her items, right? She's going to look at her prep. She doesn't care about my prep. She cares about integrations though.
Mhm.
So her eyes are going a little bit different. And now integrations, I'm going to notice because things turn red if we need to take action. So as I scroll down, right, it's impossible to not see a big red bar over here. I will notice it, but I'm not going to action on it unless like a week later it's still there. Like, hey, mom, why haven't you taken care of that yet? But she's going to take care of it. So I don't spend more than 2 seconds thinking about it. In fact, if I saw this red, I would know, oh, that account opened and it's in Black Diamond now. Cool. Like that's all I'm going to think. But at this point, like that is the daily docket. That's the homepage. Anything else we should tell them about the daily docket before we move on to the next two tabs?
I don't think so. I mean, I think that covers a lot of it. And I think it gives you an understanding of kind of some of the different use cases, how different, different roles in the firm might view some of these boxes.
And then the processes tab and the support tab are things I'm not going too much. For the sake of time, the processes tab, right? When you click on this, it gives you that beautiful calendar view that shows you all of the things that are getting worked on. I click on that because I don't own Archer in my firm. In my firm, I don't create processes. I don't create workflows. I just don't do that. That is my mom's part of her role because she's going to be the one executing on those workflows. So I want her to be the one creating those. I want her to document the processes in her own words so that she makes sure that they get done in a way that makes sense to her. It's just more efficient. And we found that works better for us. Might not be the case for every firm, but it's how it works well for us. So I'm not going to Archer, but the processes tab just gives me that vision into all of the things that are getting done. It makes me feel comfortable. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy knowing that workflows are going to get kicked off at the right time. And then the support tab also, right? I'm not clicking on this much anyways either, but get to office hours. You can open tickets from here. This is just we don't want you to have to remember all of these other logins to get help. If you need help, click the support tab, get your help. But mostly, right, the daily docket it's the bread and the butter of that homepage.
Yeah. No, that's great.
Well, good. We pushed a lot of buttons, Will. A lot of good buttons. I hope current users found this useful. If you're not a Quivr user and you think that this could be useful, or you have questions and you want to learn more, schedule a demo, come hang out, and we'll show you more about the homepage and anything else you could ever want to know about our system.